exactly what we're going to do now, but first of all, let's have a look at what maps we're going to be seeing today. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, set 1 is going to be on Neo Electric Circuit, set 2 on Neo Aztec, set 3 on Return of the King, set 4 on Flight Dreamliner, and if we make it to it, the ace match will be on Troy. Now to have a quick introduction of who our teams are going to be today, let's move over to the matchup screen and introduce our first two teams. Okay, starting us off on the left-hand side is going to be Artosis and In Control's very own Media. Micromedia as well was their old name. I think they've removed the micro from it because people don't micro anymore, man. That's it. Micromedia is dead. It's Media Clan now, and they are there. They did lose their first week's games. They didn't play in week 2, so they're back again finally in week 3, and this is going to be their second game of the STPL. They lost a very close series, though, as you can see. 1 win, 1 loss for their Terrans, and they lost the ace match. So, given they are one of the older teams from Foreign Brood War, and some of the older players as well, they certainly did a good job against Naz, bringing it to the ace match and just being pipped to the post. Now, their opponent is the other new team to STPL. They are BuLL team. They're a Bolivian team, I believe. South American members, Bolivian members, I'm fairly certain. And they have lost both their games so far. They've been up against some very good opponents. And this is going to be their chance at redemption as they move on to their third game of the STPL. Now, let's quickly take it on over to the table to have a look exactly how the team standings are looking. Now, as you can see, White Clan way ahead. They've played their first week 3 game and they did win that, so they're 3-0 at the moment. 9th team close behind them, 2-0. Naz 2-1, and Soul Gaming 1-0 at the moment. Now that's looking at, well, actually, I can't forget Red as well, who are in fact on 3-1 as well. So both of them actually tied. Now the top 4 teams do make it out of the STPL groups. And let's actually have a look now at what games we're going to be seeing today in this series. Okay, so it's going to be a best of 5 as always. We're going to have Machine versus Pochoterran. I don't know why I said it like that. Future versus William. Nyokan versus Ampute by Ampute. And Gypsy versus Flash. Now, this isn't the Korean Flash. Unfortunately, he's not playing in the STPL. But you know what? We've had Mind, we've had Best. So maybe one day Flash will play as well. You just never know. There's still a couple of rounds left, so could see someone like Naz picking up that. Now, part of the reason for Artosis not playing is just because it is at like 12 AM his time, and he does have some young children, so I imagine he's probably asleep. But still, his team are doing a pretty good job without him so far, and I'm certain they'll continue doing well as well. So let's actually have a look at our first 2 players. It's going to be Machine versus Pochoterran. Now, Machine has lost his first 2 games. He actually played against Terra twice in a row. That was obviously a ZBT. But he's actually a really good Zerg player at the moment. Doing pretty well on ladder. Doing pretty well on his stream as well. I would recommend watching his stream when he does. I believe he actually works for Twitch these days. But fairly good player still. Really, really strong Zerg player. Just not enough to take out Terra, unfortunately. But his opponent gonna be another Terran, so Machine cannot escape the ZBT. His opponent's gonna be Pocho. Now, his full name is Pochoterran, but I don't know how to say it properly. I'm gonna say Pocho, even though that's probably wrong. Either way, this is his debut match in the SCPL. He's not actually played so far, so it'll be interesting to see how he's actually gonna do as we move into our first game here. Now, this first game is going to be on my favourite map in the entire history of Brood War. It is Neo Electric Circuit. Now, Neo Electric Circuit, very cool map. 4 corners, mineral-only bases inside as well. Stacked side disruptors to block that back entrance. very much like a three-player, a four-player, sorry, Neo Medusa. It did come out after Neo Medusa, and you can definitely tell how it was influenced by it. And it plays very, very well, especially in ZVT. Now, as you can see from the stats on the screen, TBZ so far across the Clash for Char and STPL is 4 for 1. But is Machine gonna bring it back for the Zerg players here as we move on to our first game of this evening? It's gonna be Media's Machine versus BuLL's Pochoterran. Let's get going. Okay, and starting us off in the 5 o'clock position, we do have the Media Zerg. It's going to be in the blue. Machine. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand position is going to be fighting for BuLL in his debut match of the STPL. It's going to be Pochoterran in the purple. Now I realise the camera's a little bit off-center there, that's fine. Now this should be a really interesting matchup. Machine showed he had very strong ZVT in his games against Terra a couple of weeks ago, but I'm not really too sure of the caliber of Pocho. Is he a good Terran player? Is he like he's on BuLL? BuLL have got a lot of good players as well. Looks like he's going to go for a wall here at the front. Not a full wall though. You can actually wall off with the gas, and then you build the racks. But it's not. I can't remember if it's fully tight on there. But he's going to go for a little bit more of a normal wall. Going to try and block with the barracks there and to create a very small choke for any possible Zergling run-bys. And meanwhile, Machine is just building up to a 12th drone. Whether or not he's going to go for a hatchery or a pull first, we're about to find out. Looks like it's going to be a hatchery, and he's going to be feeling pretty good about that, as Pocho is going for his own macro as well, and not doing anything too crazy. It looks like that was actually a drone scout coming out. And immediately we see the hatchery going down for Machine, just at the perfect timing. You can see how close their minerals were to 0 there, meaning they built their buildings exactly on time. And both of them gonna take a while to scout each other. Thankfully for Machine, he did send his drone the right way, but this is when Pocho is gonna realise this isn't actually tight. And Machine's gonna be able to get in the base. He's gonna scout this very, very early gas though. Now, is this gonna be for a 1-1-1? I mean, there's no 14th SCV yet, no 15th SCV, so he has been pooling minerals for some reason. Now, what is he going to be doing with this? Is he expanding behind it, or is he going for that quick factory? Quick factory very strong on this map, along with the quick starports as well. Using a wall like this can also help you kind of go for 2-port Wraith, but he has been a little bit duped by the fact he's been scouted. The drone will get out as well. A Machine is going to be quite happy with finding that information out. You kind of do need to know if the Terran's going for tech, and unfortunately, that wall was not enough to keep that drone out. So, Pocho is going to be in a little bit of an awkward position now. He's lost the element of surprise. He's not going to be able to just go kill his opponent with a Vulture. Now, as crazy as that sounds, especially because Machine is so good, it can happen. Like, one Vulture can absolutely win the game against the Zerg if it's not scouted, if there's no sunken in time. Now, is Machine actually going to prepare for this? Like, you do need that one sunken. You can't realistically rely on Lings just in case. Lings are very dependent on how good the enemy Terra micros, but Machine going for that third hatchery immediately at the mineral only. This is one of the benefits Zerg has on this map. And it looks like Pocho, seeing there's so few Lings, is actually going to send out 3 Marines already. Now, I do kind of wonder if this is to force a few additional Lings. He has just finished up his Vulture. He's going to go into a command center as well. No 2-port yet. But these Marines are going to get there just as the creep colony finishes. There are only 2 Lings. He should be able to actually focus down some of these drones. I don't think he'll get the sunken colony, but Marines do a lot of damage to buildings, and there we go. The drones have been pulled. The sunken will finish just barely. That's going to start on 120 HP. and 2 of the drones have gone down already, a couple of lings as well, and that is a very, very good move for Pocho. Now I do wonder exactly where this game is going to go, so one of the things is usually I'd have Rapid sort of bounce ideas off of, but back to solo casting today. I guess he's sleeping or something. It is 4 AM. I can't expect him to stay up 4 AM 3 days a week, that would be kind of insane. But Rapid's a really cool guy. Obviously huge thanks to him whenever he casts with me, it does save my voice. But we do have that layer coming up. We're going to have a Spire coming up as well. No, we're not. It's going to be a Hydralisk then. Now, is this a reaction to the fact he knows the opponent's gone tech? Is this to try and deal with any Wraiths? But little does he know that there is no starport behind this. He is just going for mines. Possibly even going to go for speed behind this. But with just mines, the Hydralisks aren't really... Well, the Vultures aren't really going to be able to do too much. You can actually run past the Sunken if there is 3 Vultures, and as obviously if you have speed you can run past with 1. But as you can see, the Hydra is going to be able to clean up these mines, and unfortunately for Pocho, these things are not going to do too much. These mines are not going to do too much even. I know it looks like Pocho is going to try and build something up here. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be. Could just be for scouting purposes as well. But is Pocho going to go for mech? Yes, he is. So, this is one of the first mech games in TVZ we've seen throughout the tournament. But mech TVZ was popularized by I Love Vu. Fancy obviously made that his main style for a good number of years. He was like one of the only Terran players to really do it on all maps. There are some maps that are better for mech than others. But obviously it's very map dependent, very dependent on what your opponent does as well. But this is going to be good for Machine. As long as Machine scouts this, he's going to be able to make sure that he builds a lot of extra hatcheries. He's immediately going to take this 4th base in the top right hand side, and he feels very, very confident right now, which is exactly what he needs to do. Mech armies very, very strong against Zerg armies. We do have the Armory getting +1 attack. This is a reaction to seeing those Hydralisks. When you're going for Goliaths against Muta, you really do want to get +1 armor first. It does help you a hell of a lot. But either way, he's going mech. Mech is quite strong on this map. There's a lot of small pathways. I mean, these bridges are quite wide, but you can see like the tight chokes here. You can have tanks up on this high ground just raining down fire, and it just becomes incredibly annoying to actually have to deal with. But you can see the Pocho even deciding to micro his Vulture against just 3 lings, but he wants to make sure he can try and get any additional drones that do go up there. Now, 1 drone did go down. No, it didn't. It actually built a hatchery at the natural. And this Vulture is going to go down as well, but still 5 kills on that Vulture. Good amount of value from that. And this is one of those weird situations where it's kind of hard to really say too much. Like, I mean, we've got Pocho starting to power up. He's going to add on another couple of additional factories, most likely. And now this may not just be pure mech. It could actually be just a Goliath all in, but he is adding this tank for a little bit of defense. He'll be adding siege mode on there shortly as well. And he is going to look to slowly push towards taking a 3rd base. It looks like he's going to try and take this not only first, but does he have any turrets? Yes, he does. He should feel pretty safe about that. He was going to build a turret and a CC at the same time, but that's not going to work out for him. But how many Goliaths does he have? It's only 3 against 5 Mutas, which isn't perfect, but it should be fine with this turret as well. Going to make it a little bit harder for Machine to push in and really do too much damage. Now, if this was 9 Mutas, this would be a bit different. And thank you, Creative, for the host. Welcome to anyone just joining us. We're just watching the first game between Meteor and BuLL. I do apologise if my voice sounds a bit funny today. It's been incredibly hot, so I'm ever so slightly dehydrated. But I'm trying to drink lots of water at the same time, so it's all good. Looks like we're going to have those Mutas taking out one of the turrets. 1 Muta incredibly close to dying though. I'm not really sure that was worth it. But this is going to be the big power play from Machine. He's added on a lot of Lurkers. Now, while Lurkers aren't great against mech, they're great against breaking down these kind of positions. But still, that's a turret and 3 3 tanks, that's exactly why he's taken down these side disruptors. Now, in case you don't know, these side disruptors are actually stacked. It will take the lurkers a couple of extra volleys once they've killed the first one, due to the fact the ones underneath take reduced splash for some reason. And NetWars versus Team 9, I believe that is on week 4, so that'll be next week. This is week 3 at the moment. But DM versus Red will be... Yeah, there we go. You can see the top ones are dying. It takes a lot of effort to actually break through these. Now, he unburrowed thinking he's done already, but nope, not quite yet. Now, one benefit that Machine does have is he's using his Mutalist to clear out any scouting at the top of this path. And it's going to make it very difficult. And we do have a scan going down. That's in the natural and the main. Looks like he actually scanned outside of his base as well, but here we go. The lurkers are moving in on top of the Goliaths. Gonna take a position on top of this high ground and possibly push down into the main mineral line. This could be pretty bad. We didn't have the Goliaths shooting for a very long time, but this well-placed turret is going to help him defend against this. But still, this is a third base that Pocho cannot take. He's built his command center over here as well, and that's not going to feel good for him. He's going to try and push up the ramp with the Goliaths. Obviously the Goliaths can do a lot of damage once he scans, but the scan was a little bit late. And Machine, in the meantime, is getting on his 5th base. He's going to be adding up to a 6th base in a second as well, I would imagine. And he is building up a large Hydralisk source. Now, one of the disadvantages of mech is it is very, very immobile in TvZ. And that does allow the Zerg to just take the map. And it's one of the reasons why going straight mech is very difficult against Zerg. But nice scan, takes out a couple of the lurkers, uses the Goliath to push back up as well. And that's a really nice defense there by Pocho. Now, as you can see, Machine is already on Hive Tech. He's already going into the Defiler Mound. Queens wouldn't be a bad idea here either, just to get those good old Broodlings off on those tanks, making it incredibly difficult for the Terran player. But you can see this is where the problem, full mech, comes into place. Like, how can Pocho do any damage? He's completely trapped on his little 3-base cluster. One of them's a mineral only, which you don't really need in TvZ. When you go mech, you want as much gas as humanly possible. Of course, the extra missile turrets help, the extra vultures as well, but when there's this many lurkers, this many Hydralisks, and this many Lings already, it's actually kind of hard to really lay too many mines out on the map. And you can see Machine is already for that kind of move anyway, as he's got his Sunkens up. But in ZVT, Terran is usually above in supply, but when the Terrans go mech, it can go towards the Zerg because they power up a lot quicker. They get a lot more hatcheries, a lot more bases, and a lot more drones. So Terran will usually be ahead unless they're going mech. Obviously Terran armies, especially a 200-200 with 2-2, 3-2 upgrades, very, very strong against the Zerg force, but it's getting to that position without losing your army. You can't afford to lose any units. This is why we don't see Pocho being too careless with his units. He's only trying to take a position in the front of his base. He needs to be careful not to go through the middle here, though, because this could be a big, big mistake. It looks like Machine hasn't scouted this, though, and this could actually work for Pocho's favor. But the trouble is, if you push up there, what's going to happen? Machine is going to use this path and go for the counter. Looks like we have that scan going down to see where the army is. A nice siege is going to go up as well. But how much damage is he going to do? It looks like not the best engagement there by Machine. Going to lose a lot of army for free. And slowly, suddenly, Pocho's army, which didn't seem or appear to be too strong before, looks a lot stronger. One of the benefits of Terran, of course, very strong defensive push like you can do here. And the Zerg is only coming in from one angle. This isn't the exact angle he wants to come in from. He's running into siege tank fire. And you can see a little bit of indecision by Machine. I'd almost expect him to go for the counter. There's not really too much back home to defend. But of course he does need to make sure that these tanks don't get into his main. And this is going to be the major storyline over the next few minutes of this matchup. Now, of course, Machine added on his 4th base. We finally do have that 3rd base up for Pocho. He's not really mining there, though. No irradiate as of yet, I believe, on the science facility. So This is when it starts getting harder for Zerg. Oh, this could be a big mine, and it isn't. What the heck? That Zergling must have got that at the very last second. Can he get the mine drag? He gets one of the vultures, and the muters come back to help defend against this as well. But yeah, looks like he's going to clean up the vultures for now. Of course, there are 6 factories, 7 factories even worth of production pumping. And he is going to slowly start working towards his 4th base. Looks like he's got a couple of Goliaths there to defend these SCVs. And Pocho is quite content just sitting here slowly pushing his way into the Zerg main. But here we go, the Ultralisks are here. The Lurkers burrowing very far back, but they do have Swarm. And these Ultras doing a lot of damage here on top of the tanks. But they're going down very quickly. They only have 3-1 upgrades. And this is one of the disadvantages. But here we go, the tanks are forced to be unsieged. And this means the Lurkers under the Swarm should be able to push up. The Lings are coming in as well, cleaning up the unsieged tanks. Moving into the Goliaths as well. 1-1 upgrades, not enough against the 1-1 of the Lings. Goliaths don't really help that much against the ground. But there we go, Machine has done a very good job thinning this army. It looks like he may be able to take it out. A bit of a weird swarm, but he gets another one on top of the tanks, and that's the entirety of Pochoterran's army annihilated. And that's a very, very big deal. Mech is a very slow but steady mechanic, really. And by losing those units, it makes it very difficult to try and put any pressure on this Zerg, or on these Zerg bases. And you can see Machine already going into a 7th base. He could actually opt to try and take these 2 bases as well. And now with all the tank count being completely reset, there's absolutely nothing that he can do. But here we go. Looks like we're going to have another small engagement in the middle. A lot of tanks going down for free. A bit of a very weird swarm. I think he thought the Defiler was going to die. And a poor vessel without a Radiate waiting here against the Defiler. Do we even have a Radiate ready? I almost feel like... Oh, and there it goes. Straight down to some Scourge. We've got SCVs being pulled up to the top right. Another vessel just went down as well. And slowly Pocho is going to have to try and regain his position on the map. But he's lost so many units, it's going to be very, very difficult. Still only on 1-1 upgrades. No 2 attack or 2 armor going for him at all. And this is a very big deal. It looks like we had a Ling counterattack on the 9 o'clock base. He's trying to micro down these Lings, but microing against Speedlings with Speed Vulture is actually deceptively difficult. Lings do an insane amount of damage, especially when they have Adrenaline like they do here. And we've got another engagement in the middle. Just missed a mine going off on 3 Ultras. That was, 3 Lurkers. That was an incredible mine. And for some reason, he's backing up against 2 tanks. He doesn't want to lose too many units. And here we go. Machine just throwing more and more units into this meat grinder as he tries to take down this 4th base. If he can keep the Terran away from his 4th or 3rd gas even, he is going to be in an incredible position. And he's sending rallied units absolutely everywhere. Lings, Defilers going to every single base. It's like I'm watching effort. And here we go. More Ultras pushing in on the tanks. Lurkers kind of losing their utility now. But the Lings just coming in from every single angle. No mining going on at this base. He's going to cut out the mining at this base as well. And Machine is just in a dominating position in this matchup. And a Radiate does go down. He should split that off from his other units. But still, all of the tanks going down. All of his 3rd base going down. His 4th is going to be forced to lift. He may even lose this if he doesn't pay attention. Looks like he's lifting now. But with this 3rd base going down, there's not really too much he can do. More and more units being rallied in from all over the map. And GG! Machine will take down Pocho in the first game for media. Okay, so let's get ready for our second game. I am just going to quickly load up the next replay. The cool thing is, because I'm the only person here, I don't have to try and tell someone else what's going on. Quickly checking my phone. Okay, yeah, so let's load up the second replay. And let's get started. So Machine did a really good job there against Pochoterran. I'm actually kind of surprised. Not because Machine isn't good. I know Machine is a very good player, but the way he won was really impressive to me. That was very much I would say that's very much the effort style of just basically building so many units and rallying them all over the place. I guess he was grouping them and then like doing attack move or whatever, but still a very impressive skill to actually use and to be able to master in CBT. CBT is not an easy matchup, and playing against Mech isn't easy as well. And he made that look incredibly easy. Like I can't even begin to like explain how easy he made that look. Poor Pochoterran put up a good fight, but unfortunately he fell behind in upgrades, lost his main army without really securing too much of the map, and didn't really do any damage with it, just killed units. And unfortunately when you're going pure mech, that does not cut it. But he did a good job for his first game in the STPL, and I look forward to seeing a little bit more of him as we move through the tournament. Now, I'm just quickly setting up the next replay. I've got everything ready, so I'm going to throw it over to the intro for a moment.